AI is everywhere right now. It's in your phone, your inbox, your search results, your car, your bank, Netflix recommendations, and somehow most people still can't explain what it actually is. That's the weird part. Because we use the word AI like everybody agrees on what it means. But ask 10 people to define it and you get 10 completely different answers. Some people think it means robots. Some think that it's ChatGPT. And some people think it means machines becoming conscious. And a lot of people think that it means I'm probably going to lose my job. But here's the statistics that really exposes the problem. 77% of people are already using AI every day, but only a third of them know what it means. And that's not really a technology problem. This is a definition problem. Because if you don't understand what AI actually is, how are you supposed to make smart decisions about it? How are you supposed to lead a team through it? And how are you supposed to know what's hype, what's dangerous, what's useful, and what's just marketing? So in this video, I'm going to make AI really simple. I'm going to explain what AI actually is, what it is not, and I'll use some of the analogies from my book Augment It to explain the definition of AI. And once you see it, AI stops feeling like magic and starts making sense. Let's dive in. Before we define AI, we have to kill the biggest misconception first. AI is not new. That surprises people because it feels new. ChatGPT exploded into the public conversation. Suddenly, every company started creating an AI strategy. Every product incorporated AI features. Every headline made it sound like we had crossed some invisible line overnight. But AI didn't suddenly appear in 2022. Researchers have been working on AI since 1950s, before smartphones, before the internet as we know it, and before even personal computers were in every home. So what changed? Not the idea, the ingredients. Modern AI exploded because three things finally came together at the same time: more data, more computing power, better algorithms, and that's the combination. And once you understand that, AI starts to feel less like science fiction and more like what it actually is: a field in computer science that has been building for decades. So, what is AI? At its core, artificial intelligence is about building computer systems that can mimic certain abilities we associate with human intelligence. Notice the word mimic. That matters. Human can read. AI system can process text. Human can write. AI system can generate language. Human can recognize faces, images, voices, and patterns. AI system can train to do versions of these tasks. Human can learn from experience. AI system can learn from data. But that doesn't mean AI is human. AI does not feel. AI does not have consciousness. AI doesn't have intuition and doesn't have lived experience. It doesn't understand the world that the way you do. But what it does is to process data, identify patterns, generate outputs based on how it was trained and designed. That's the key. AI is not magic, is not life. It's a set of technologies designed to perform tasks that used to require human intelligence. And that's the definition. And now, if you need a better picture, because when people hear AI, they usually think of the things like chatbots and robots and self-driving cars. But AI is not one thing. In my book, Augmented, I explain AI as being like a tree. The tree has a deep roots in mathematics, statistics, computer science, psychology, philosophy, engineering, and these roots have been growing for decades and for many, many centuries even. And from these roots came different branches. Each branch focuses on a different type of intelligence behavior. Let's walk through it. I'm not going to cover all the branches, but I'm going to cover some of those for this video. The first branch is computer vision. It's about helping machines interpret visual information. In a plain English, teaching computers to see. When you're unlocking your phone with your face, that's computer vision. When a self-driving car detects a pedestrian, that's computer vision. When a medical imaging system helps identify a tumor, that's computer vision. It doesn't see like the way that we see, but it can analyze pixels, shapes, patterns, and probabilities in ways that it can be incredibly powerful. The next branch is natural language processing, or NLP for short. This is the language branch. It's how machines process, interpret, and generate human language. Every chatbot that you use, every translation app, every voice assistant, every autocomplete suggestions in your email, that's NLP. This is a branch that made AI feel suddenly personal. The third branch is machine learning. This is the one that most people have heard of, and that's the most important one. Traditional software follows rules written by human. You tell the computers what exactly you want to do, but machine learning is different. Instead of programming every rule manually, you give the system data and let it find patterns. From those patterns, it can make predictions, classifications, recommendations, or decisions. That's why Netflix can recommend what to watch, and that's why banks can detect suspicious transactions. That's why your email can identify spams, and is also a major engine behind modern generative AI. The next branch is knowledge representation and reasoning. That sounds academic, but the idea is simple. It's about helping machines store information about the world and use it to draw conclusions. For example, if a system knows that all managers are employees, if Sarah is a manager, then it can conclude that Sarah is also an employee. That's basic reasoning. This branch is about structure, logic, relationships, and inferences. And while it doesn't always get the same attention as generative AI, it's incredibly important for systems that need consistency, traceability, and clear decision-making. The next branch is robotics. This is where AI moves from digital world into the physical world. Robots use sensors to perceive the environment. They use models to make predictions, and they use mechanic systems to move, lift, sort, drive, assist, or act. This could be a warehouse of robots, surgical robots, drone, manufacturing arm, or eventually humanoid robots working alongside people. We are getting there. But robotics is not just AI with arms. It's what happens when perception, decision-making, and physical actions, they all come together. The last branch is search and optimization. This sounds less exciting, but it runs more of your life than you probably realize. Search and optimization is about finding the best solution among many possible options. Think about Google Maps. When it gives you the fastest route, it's not just looking at a map, it's evaluating different paths, traffic conditions, road closures, distances, and arrival times. Then it chooses the best options based on the goal. That's optimization. And businesses are using it constantly in scheduling, shipping, pricing, resource allocation, basically anywhere there are too many options for humans to manually compare. Search and optimization is an extremely useful tool. Now, here's the part that everything connects together. I intentionally separated these branches so that they're easier to understand. But in real world, AI systems usually combine multiple branches at once. Let's take Alexa as an example. When you speak to Alexa, it has to recognize your voice. That involves speech recognition and language processing. Then it has to figure out what you mean. That can involve NLP, search, and reasoning. Then it has to respond in a language. That's language generation. And when you ask to turn on the lights or turn it off, it has to connect to the physical system that takes action. So Alexa doesn't use one branch. It has several branches working together in real time. Same with Google Maps. It uses search and optimization to find routes, machine learning to predict traffics, live data to estimate arrival time, and a clean interface that makes all of these feel invisible. That's what great AI often does. It disappears. You don't think, wow, that was an impressive combination of machine learning and optimization and real-time data and processing, all of those. You just think, cool, I'll be there in 18 minutes. And that's why so many people use AI without realizing it. The better it works, the less visible it becomes. Now, we also need to talk about what AI is not, because this is where a lot of confusion and bad business decisions come from. First, AI is not any software. A calculator is a software, and you type in 2 plus 2 and it gives you 4 as the answer. But that's not AI. That's following fixed instructions. Useful? Yes. Intelligent? Not really. Second, AI is not the same thing as automation. And this one gets misunderstood all the time. Automation is an umbrella term. It simply means technology is doing a task without human manually doing every step. But not all automation is AI. Some automation is built with procedural programming, meaning that a human writes a clear set of instructions and the system follows those instructions the same way every time. If this happens, do that. Send this email, move the file, trigger the reminder, calculate the total. That kind of automation can be incredibly useful, but it doesn't learn. It doesn't adapt. It doesn't improve from one new data to another. It just follows the procedure it was programming to follow. AI is different. It can identify patterns, make predictions, generate outputs, or adapt based on data. So AI can power automation, but automation doesn't automatically mean AI. And that's the key distinction. Automation is a broader category, and AI is one way to create more intelligent forms of automation. But a lot of automation is still just rules, logic, and procedural coding doing exactly what human told it to do. Third, AI is not perfect. And this is the one that people learn the hard way. AI can be wrong, it can hallucinate, it can reflect biases in the training data, it can sound confident while giving you bad answer, and it can fail in ways that are hard to notice if you don't understand how it works. That doesn't make AI useless. It means that you have to use it intelligently. Because the goal is not to be overexcited and use AI blindly and not to fear it, but the goal is to understand it clearly enough to use it well. So let's bring it all together. AI is a field within computer science. It builds systems that mimic human-like capabilities such as reading, writing, sensing, listening, learning, reasoning, recommending, optimizing, acting. It has deep roots in science, and it has multiple branches. And the real AI system usually combine those branches to perform useful tasks. AI is not new, and it has been developing for more than 70 years. What changed is that we finally reached a point where the data, computing power, and algorithms were strong enough to bring AI into everyday life. That's the revolution. Not that AI suddenly exists, but that AI suddenly become usable, visible, and accessible to almost everyone. And that creates new responsibility because the people who understand AI clearly will make better decisions with it. The people who don't will either overhype it, underuse it, or fear it for the wrong reasons. And that's why the definition matters. You can't lead through a technology you don't understand and you can't explain. You can evaluate tools you don't understand. You can prepare for the future if the entire understanding of AI comes from headlines, movie scenes, LinkedIn posts. So the next time someone says AI, don't just nod along. Ask better questions. What branches are we talking about? What capabilities is being mimicked? What's the data that is being used? What decisions is this helping with? And where does the human still need to stay involved? That's when the AI stops being a buzzword and it starts becoming a tool. Quick pause before we wrap up. If this framework made AI feel clearer, I want to give you the first few chapters of my book Augment It for free. Not the summary, not a teaser, but the actual chapters. They go deeper into the foundation and help you understand AI in a practical, business-focused way without the hype, fear, or jargon. Scan the QR code on the screen, enter your email, and I'll send them straight into your inbox. Then in the next video, we'll go one level deeper. Because now that you know what AI is, the next question is, why did it explode now? Why did a field that's been around since 1950s suddenly became the most important technology conversation in the world? The answer, as you learned today, comes from three ingredients: data, computing power, and algorithm. And once you understand how those came together, the entire AI revolution starts to make a lot more sense. So scan the QR code, grab the free chapter, and I'll see you in the next video.